Microphone going. This is NJ. The convo brought to you by Oak Ridge Ford in London, Ontario, oakridgeford.com. Who's pumped? I'm pumped. The Leafs are up 3-1 in their first round series in the Stanley Cup playoffs versus the Tampa Bay Lightning, a 5-4 winner in overtime. Insane. They were down 4-1. They scored another one, and then went into overtime and got a goal that was just absolutely it was just absolutely epic. I know you're feeling like euphoric right now. You're excited about it. So am I. Brad Tyndall, Norm, 100%. This is amazing. The Leafs are up 3-1 in their series versus Tampa. Who is not excited? I am super excited. Danny Grinnick, welcome, Norm. 100%. Puro, it's destiny. We're winning the cup. Boys and girls, 100%. I'm excited too. I know you guys are all pumped. So the thing is, Tampa looked like they just like played the formulaic perfect game for down 2-1, up 4-1 with a few minutes to go in the third, and the Leafs just throwing the puck on net. Austin Matthews coming up big. The thing is with Austin Matthews, it's not like he's made this huge impact, like aesthetically or optically. He's just kind of tipped in goals. He scores 2 tonight, which are great. And then Morgan Riley scores another one. When you put the puck on net, good things happen, especially in the playoffs. And that's what's happened. Vasilevsky has no response to the shots from the perimeter. And the Leafs just keep on scoring. That's the way they won the game. It's remarkable. The Leafs are up 3-1. So we can question whether they're going to finish it off because we know that the Leafs have been up 3-1 in other scenarios going back years and years and years. And they've been up 3-2 with, 2 periods to play, up a goal. Forget about that. For now, let's talk about tonight. It really wasn't a game to write home about for any means, right? It's not like the Leafs were throwing punches. It's not like the Leafs were showing some kind of prowess over their opposition. They just kind of played the game and were down late and just kept chipping away, which in and of itself is really remarkable in that they just kept coming at them in any way, which way, shape, or form, which is really, 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 really important. And that's key, just to keep coming at them, keep throwing pucks on net, keep doing their thing. Tampa didn't try to combat the Leafs with fisticuffs tonight, with the bravado, with the posturing. It was just, let's play a hockey game. And Tampa did what it could to get a lead, but it couldn't hold it. And the result is a 5-4 Leafs win, up 3-2 in the series. It's just remarkable. Mike Augello's in the back room. He's waiting. So you and I are going to take 2 seconds to, get acquainted, get pumped for the situation. Then we'll give Mike his opportunity. Like, we've got so many people in the chat. It's amazing. Mr. Master Shake, have had bronchitis for 2 weeks now. Voice was starting to disappear. Thought it was coming back until tonight. Now it's gone for good, and I wouldn't have it any other way. God bless you, Mr. Master Shake. Thank you very much. You know what? You have made my day. I work in car sales, and today has been shit. It's been garbage. The amount of entitled brats who want to buy F-150s and who are just the biggest jerks on the planet, I've had to deal with them, and I've had to bite my tongue. Right? We work in the real world. I came from broadcasting in the real world. The car sales world, it's just a bunch of fucking brats. I've had to deal with them, and you've made my day because you know what? You put it all in perspective because I've dealt with bronchitis before. Mr. Master Shake, thank you very much for sharing that. I feel great. I feel liberated. I hope you feel better soon because bronchitis sucks. Get a puffer, feel better. And the Leafs are up 3-1. If they can't put this series away, the organization should shut itself down. For real. Greg Knight. Hi, Norm. Hi, Greg. How are you? We're all pumped. I'm just super pumped. LM. I thought the third was a good time for Keith to mix things up and get a feel for the next game. And then, of course, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you put your people out there and you go for it. You put your people out there and you go for it. The Leafs were down 4-1 because Tampa's like the thing is you can't be upset about that. Nobody like anybody who thinks the Leafs are going to dominate these playoffs and go through and win a championships really not paying attention or really doesn't understand what's going on or really has no sense of the past, right? Or no sense of awareness. This is hard. Tampa's a good team. They know what they're doing. They tried to shut things down and just lock it down and play a hockey game where they could control the situation. 37 shots for the Maple Leafs, 31 for the Lightning. The Buds 2 for 4 in the playoffs, or sorry, on the power play. Lightning 1 for 3 on the power play. Both teams 50% on the faceoff. Tampa with 10 penalty minutes. The shots basically even over 100 shots total. 46 for the, or sorry, 46 hits for the Leafs, 45 for the Lightning. 28 blocks for the Leafs, 24 for the Lightning, and the Lightning with 10 giveaways. So this was a pretty even game. It really was. It was just Tampa got the lead. The Leafs had to kind of hang in there and not let it get out of hand, and then they just chipped away in the third. And now they're up 3-1. It's phenomenal. Dennis Rodriguez, did they win the most important game? No, because this isn't the most important game. The clincher is the most important game. And this is the thing, guys. We've been down this road year after year after year, up 3-1, feeling like it was accomplished. No, I'm sorry. We're still not there. Oh, 09 max. Holy shit. Right. Right, 09 max. 09 max, I'm I'm making you an OG right now. OG, like you're not an OG, but you're an OG. Right now, I'm anointing you an OG. You are an OG. Every time I refer to you, you are a original gangsta. 100% OG Max. Yeah, Mike Augello is trying to get into the mix. He's coming. Who do we have here? I ate pants. Winning is the new normal. 100%. This is a beautiful thing, guys. This is amazing. The Leafs are up 3-1. They're going back home. Can they pull this thing off? How exciting would it be for them to pull it off? Can they do this in 5 games? And it's not about, me or Colin M calling it in 5. I don't care if they win in 5, 6, or 7, or 8, and 9. Win the series. Show us what you're made of. Show us that you can get through a series and go through to the second round, and that this group can take it. This too good, and too talented a group to keep getting stonewalled at the second or before the second round, in the first round, not being able to get through to the to that next level because they don't have the nerve. And that's the thing. LJ, nice. Saving that goal was huge. 100%. This is insane. Like I said, Matthew Nyes should still be hanging out with college chicks, talking about how he was drafted by an NHL team that they don't even know about, and that he'll be going to, prospect camp at Rico Coliseum, and how cool he's going to be. This guy's playing in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. This is massive. It really is massive. Colin M. This team has balls. Colin, it does. It 100% does. And Austin Matthews, I was wondering about him, is what kind of impact this cat's gonna have. And it's not like he's just taken the game by the balls and done his thing, but he has balls because he's tipping pucks. He's doing his thing. 3-1. This is just a joy, but there's more to accomplish. Can they? That's the question. Colin M, the biggest Leaf fan of the OGs. It's amazing. Did I just make you an OG, Colin M? Did I just anoint you an OG? I may have, because you were so dedicated to the convo. It means a lot. It's awesome. LJ, nice, saving that goal was huge. 100%. Brad Tyndall. Hashtag OG Bucks for good luck. Drop those toonies, y'all. Hey, I agree with you 100%. A Super Coupe goes way back to 2018. Super Coupe has been there from the beginning. Super Coupe, OGs, converts, is the OG. He really is. This cat goes back to 2018 when Mike and I started this project on on YouTube. He is an OG. It's different this year. Mike is freaking out. He's got to come in. Okay. Welcome to the combo, buddy. We're just doing our thing. We're so pumped up. The Leafs, the 5-4 winner in overtime. Up 3 games.
Like Danny said in the chat, I'm here to crush everyone's joy. But you know, but this okay.
Yep.
I have, you know, this was as improbable a comeback as the 2013 Boston comeback. I mean, because up until you know,
amazing.
What's that?
You're amazing. That's what I love about you. You're just like tempering everything.
Well, no, but I'm putting a realistic and this is a reality check here, okay? Because this team through 2.5 periods were completely outplayed. Were completely dominated physically. You know, I almost got the impression that they were satisfied with the split in Tampa. That was the way that they played. But I mean, first I have to give credit to the Leafs for doing what they did. Second, I have to criticize Tampa for basically emulating what Vegas did against Winnipeg on Saturday, up 4-1 and going to sleep, or what LA did to Edmonton yesterday, up 3-0, going to sleep. Tampa basically said, "Okay, we're good. Toronto's not going to come back. We can just kill off this third period." And Matthews with the first goal, Matthews with the power play goal, and then Riley. It was as improbable a comeback and something that you just couldn't predict from a team like Tampa. This was Tampa circa 2019 when they lost to Columbus.
Good.
No, I
mean, the Leafs will benefit from it. Mike, up 3-1. This team, when's the last time it was up 3-1 like this? Against
Montreal, yeah.
Can the Leafs put this away? That's the question. Going back home with this opportunity, they weren't the best team in this game. They weren't the best team in game 3, but they're up 3-1. Does this team have the intestinal fortitude, and can the head coach position this team to finally win this fucking series and send it in the second round? That's the question.
Can they do it? Yes. Will they do it? Who knows?
Who is it on? Is it the players to just show up? Because
yes, of course.
I feel like this game is going to go into game 5, and it's going to be, you know, the Leafs just kind of skating around, and then they're going to fall behind, and then it's going to be a situation like we saw tonight, and the roles are going to be reversed. How can this coaching staff get this team's mindset in the right way so that they come out guns a-blazing, take a 3-0 lead, and have Tampa try to claw back in an elimination game? That's what I want to see, Mike.
Well, okay, that's what everybody wants to see, but whether they'll do it, I mean, okay, like I said on the combo on Sunday, they needed to come out in game 4 and step on Tampa's neck and kill them. And what did they do? Up until 10 minutes left to go in the third period, they let Tampa beat them.
Look what I'm seeing right now. Spike 11.
Great. I mean, I hope Spike is right. I hope everybody, you know, I hope everybody in the chat or everybody
Tampa will crush the Leafs.
I hope.
Is that true?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I thought it was the exact opposite.
Look, this is Spike 11. This guy is like 100% Leafs.
No, I misread it. I thought he said the Leafs will
crush. He thinks that Tampa's going to crush the Leafs.
Well, they're not.
Okay. This is throwing everything on its head.
Let's just say this. The Leafs will have to show the effort that they showed in the last 10 minutes of the third period and in overtime to beat this team. Again, I cannot believe that Tampa folded as badly as they did. And, you know, the key to this was they took Vasilevsky's eyes away. They screened him. You know, you got Matthew. The Riley goal was a screen by Tavares. Matthews and Kerfoot's goals were tips. I mean, they were getting in front, and they were taking Vasilevsky's eyes away. Now, can they do it in Game 5? It would be nice. I tweeted out this afternoon, Norm, in terms of the Leafs having an opportunity to go up 3-1 in a series or to win a series. Since 2018, they were 1-11. Now with this win, they're 2-11. Now they're up 3-1, like they were against Montreal. I say it again: step on their neck and kill them. And if they do, I give them all the credit in the world. But until they do, I'm doubtful.
Mike, what is John Cooper thinking? The last 2 losses have come from seeing eye goals from way the fuck out. Like, is he not? He must be freaking out right now. But he also realizes there's pressure on him. This team's dynastic run could be coming to an end. Let's face it. The Leafs are still trying to ascend. The Lightning are trying to mitigate the rapidity of their descent. You know this.
There is no pressure on Tampa.
What? Wait a minute. There is the pressure on Tampa. This dynasty is coming to an end.
It's not. It's not, Norm. They've got all the
go on for years away. They've got
all their players signed. Nobody is a free agent. Vasilevsky's locked up long term. Most of their core is under 30 years old. It's going to keep going. It may not be Stanley Cup final and Stanley Cup championship caliber, but they're going to be a force to reckon with for another couple of years.
Really? They're going to reset, Mike. You know it as well as I do, man.
No.
Tell me what. Okay, so Tampa's going to be the greatest group of players in the history of the league. Which group has sustained itself for as long as what you're thinking Tampa will do? Come on, Mike.
The Edmonton Oilers and the New York Islanders.
For God's sakes, that was the 80s, brother.
Let's talk about the here and the now, because we'll debate about Tampa Bay and how long their dynasty lasts after the playoffs. Right now, it's game 4. No, yeah, okay. It's a wonder your first name is. It's a wonder that your first name is Bitch.
Oh, stop it! That's fucking Marcus Daly. This guy's the king, Mike.
Okay. But
let's go.
Okay. You know, now they're up. Now they're in a power position. They have Tampa on the ropes. They basically, now Game 5 at home, all the expectations. Yeah, exactly, John. Let's not be overconfident. They're in a situation now where they have the whip hand, but now they have to seize the opportunity. You've got Tampa on the ropes. You've got to step on their neck.
I agree.
I'm
with you, Mike.
That's all I'm saying.
We're back on track, you and I.
Now, I'm gonna be in the building on Thursday for Game 5. It would be highly entertaining to see for the first time in 19 years the fans at Scotiabank Arena, previously Air Canada Center, to celebrate a victory. It'll be out of hand, but don't think that it's going to happen until it happens, folks.
Right.
Because what has this team proven?
Right.
Proven over the last 19 years that they can find a way to break your heart.
Mike, you and I are the yin and the yang, even though that you and I are, in terms of our mindset, is almost in lockstep. So we've got Kissed 61. Mike is the calm voice of reason, 100%. Colin M. Colin M is a anointed OG. We've welcomed him. We've sorted him shoulder to shoulder.
He's right.
Colin M. You know what? Because Colin is such an OG, and there are thousands of podcasts out there, and you could go anywhere you want, but you're with us, and we appreciate it because of your dedication. Colin, you are an OG 100%. I'm anointing so many OGs because I'm seeing the dedication to this project, and if you are that dedicated, welcome. You're a part of us.
Yeah,
7 people in the chat right now, Mike. This is like record-breaking shit.
But Colin is saying, is that Mike's only talking point? Okay, we're in the same series, Colin.
Okay, Tampa didn't choke. give the Leafs some credit. The Tampa
No,
didn't.
it
Tampa
was
tried to lock it down. They didn't
it,
choke.
it was a combination. I mean, is if you're gonna say that Toronto choked in Game 7 in 2013, this was the same thing. They were up 4-1 with half of the third period, and they allowed 3 goals, and then they allowed the Bergeron to score.
None of those goals were like easy goals or high leverage
No,
goals. A lot of those goals were just tips in
the
front, and
first,
they were scored by guys who you'd expect to score from the other team. I mean, the perfect goal in overtime, it is what it is. And you know as well as I do, overtime is a shit show. It's a crapshoot. But you know what? Austin Matthews doesn't want to mix it up. He doesn't want to get physical in front of the net. Now he's done better than most people might think, and he's put some points on the board, including these goals tonight. It's just a matter of cruising through the zone in front of the net and just kind of getting a stick on a puck, and that's basically about it. Then you may ask what Tampa was trying to do. It's just they probably took Toronto for granted in that circumstance. And
I
John Cooper's got to ask himself, what the fuck just happened? Now we're down 3-1. I'm sorry. Eventually, you're going to expend your good luck. You can't keep coming back from 3-1 against a team like Toronto. Toronto's screwed up its opportunities year in and year out. At some point, the Leafs are going to bury this thing. This year is as good as it's ever been to finally get over that hump. Up 3-1. The odds of Tampa coming back and taking this 3 straight games are much slimmer than we thought before the series, Mike.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, they're slimmer, but they're not impossible. And again,
Right.
this team has had a nasty habit of making the impossible possible. But again, I'm giving them full credit. It was a phenomenal 10 minutes. They rallied. I just wish, that, it's very rare. And we've seen it a few times. If you remember that 3-goal rally in Game 4 against Columbus in the bubble to come back and win in overtime to force a Game 5. And that was the exact opposite of what Columbus did. They scored 2 goals in Game 3 to force overtime, and then Pierre-Luc Dubois scored in overtime. So, I mean, we've seen these swings before. There's immense talent on this team. But, before the third period, who were the GOATs? Right. Alex Kerfoot was the GOAT because he gave up the puck on that second goal, the Sergachev goal. Justin Hall screened Samsonov on the Killorn goal. William Nylander takes a stupid penalty. I mean, all this is washed away because they came back, tied the game, and won in overtime. But you can't ignore those things. And somebody was saying, well, who's gonna come out for Bunting in Game 5? I was saying Bunting was coming back in Game 5, but do you think Sheldon Keefe is going to change the lineup at all after they won? Even though they got outplayed in both games, they won. So is he gonna take Alex Kerfoot out of the lineup? No. Maybe he takes out Sam Lafferty, but I'm just saying you'd be hesitant to tamper with a winning lineup.
Sorry, Mike, I'm getting a little feedback. OG's comments, are you hearing that feedback? Because I'm hearing it, and I don't know the hell.
Oh, you're good.
So I don't know. We're on StreamYard.
You sound good. You sound good.
Okay, great. StreamYard's amazing. We appreciate it. Again, we do this show on a budget, right? We don't have all kinds of pomp and pageantry that complements what we're trying to do. We do what we do, and again, this is. The thing about us is I got a lot of complaints that we've been around forever and we haven't grown. We have grown, right? For a guy who does car sales and Mike who does all kinds of other stuff, for us to come together once per week, I'm sorry, I don't sit here, making my 60 grand a year doing bullshit online stuff. I got to do real deal shit to make a living for my wife and my family.
My stomach has grown, Norm.
Right. I mean, my stomach has too. So you guys can shit on us for not being 10,000 followers and shit. But you know what? We've done pretty well and we have a really loyal following. So I appreciate everybody is here. 170 people in the chat right now. It's
ask questions. Ask questions if you want.
Yeah, off the chart. So, the people who criticize us, we appreciate it very much. But when we're here in 10 years and all of your favorite podcasts right now are no longer existent, fuck you. Okay, screw off. Spike 11, Norm, this is a passion project. Nothing wrong with that. I appreciate that very much. I know people don't like when I swear. I'm sorry. I'm not a Bible thumper. Okay. I'm in Canada. We're very progressive here. We don't adhere to some, like, religious text. That's the way it goes. Okay. If you don't like it, don't subscribe. Okay. Like, if you want real deal, then you come to us. If you're just looking for nonsense, go somewhere else. All right. You get the straight goods from us. I try not to swear too much. It's 11:11. In the daytime, I'll keep it PG, but like, stop it. I run this podcast and I do what I want to do.
We have questions in the chat here. Is it haha? I guess it is.
Show me where it is, Mike, so I can bring it up.
Okay? It's about 10. Well, I'll just read it.
See, look, Cole Kim, Norm. LFG, swear if you want. Like I said, man, I put the work into this thing, so I'm gonna get what I want out of it. All right. So that's the key. Go ahead.
The question was, do the Leafs have a chance versus Boston if they get past Tampa?
Where is that, Mike?
It's a way back. Don't worry about it. I'll just read them off because
Boston, of course they do, because they're human beings facing us against another group of human beings.
Again, I'm not going to talk about them playing Boston until they beat Tampa. Again, it's like, I mean, that may be a cop-out, but it's like, I don't think anybody should look past Tampa right now. Like, again, first thing is first. Game 5, beat them. Again, I know Colin M's. I just want to hear the same point all over again. But it's the reality. Okay, you've got the 3-1 advantage. Now beat them. Now do what you did in the last 10 minutes. Right. Take it to them. Put them on their heels. Beat Vasilevsky. Get in front of the net. If you do that like you did tonight in the last 10 minutes and in overtime, you have a chance to win this series, or you will win this series. But Tampa's going to come back. Tampa will try their hardest in game 5 because it's do or die for them. And that team, now, the one thing we have to consider, Norm, Hedman's playing hurt, and injuries are – no. And this is a good thing for Toronto in terms of, they've punished Tampa. Hedman is playing hurt. Point is playing hurt. Cernak may not be back. So, I mean, all these things add up, and that is good for Toronto. It's like
Tampa needs a reset. Okay, Tampa's won 2 cups. Like, come on, like, the dynastic run ends at some point. Tampa needs a reset. It's time for Toronto to elevate. It's time for Tampa to get a reset, and this is the opportunity. If the Leafs can't look again, we already knew that the Leafs lose this series, guys like Dubas and guys like Kiefer out. Brendan Shanahan potentially. Okay. So it doesn't matter if this thing goes to 7 into triple overtime. If the Leafs lose, there are going to be changes. If the Leafs lose after being up 3-1, there are going to be changes. At this point now, the odds are in the Leafs' favor to finally get this thing done. But like, at the end of the day, we've got to start looking at it like, if this group is positioned right, forget just beating Tampa. There are chances to go beyond. And we revere Boston. We talk about how great Tampa is. Boston's not, despite their regular season prowess and what they've accomplished, as well as I do, this is not the greatest team that's ever been assembled in the history of the NHL. The Leafs still leave a lot to be desired and still should be better than what they are showing us. So maybe this is part of the ascent, right? Is instead of saying that, well, just getting past Tampa is the benchmark, and then if we get swept by Boston, all's good. No, there still has to be more to achieve. And even if Toronto doesn't get past Boston, there still has to be an assessment on what's going on with the intelligentsia and the group that runs this team. I'm sorry. The benchmark has to be higher than just getting past the first round and saying, if we did so, good, have at us, take us out, who gives a shit? Dubas, Keefe, the whole crew's back, the whole concept, Nylander's re-signed. I'm sorry, that's not the way it should be for this team. Any major team worth its weight in professional sports does not govern by these sets of criteria, nor should the Leafs.
I mean, again, I'll say first things first. Game 5 win.
Right.
That's first thing. Then you worry about Boston, and I mean Boston has shown. And thank you for the $5, Danny. I'll put it in my pocket later.
What about me? I got nothing. I'm broke.
You're making the big money at Oak Ridge Ford, so you made it.
Ford, that's right, Oak Ridge Ford. I forgot about them.
We're selling Ford F-150s and Mustangs.
People yell at me all the time. I don't want to buy your crappy cars. Holy shit! Talk about first world problems. My God.
No, but okay. A couple things. It is. I won't say what Kevin BX has said on the show on Hockey Night in Canada, and I like Kevin BX. He's one of the best commentators.
No, he's fantastic, man.
Yeah, he's great. I love him. But he called Matthew Knies a superstar. I mean, the kid is really good, and he is playing beyond most people's expectations. But superstar, no, he's going to be a really good player. But I don't know about superstar. But hey, he has made a difference. He provides some. I referred to him when we talked about him earlier in the year. I said he's a unicorn in the sense that he's a big power forward who's fast. The toughness and the meanness may come with in time, but he provides an aspect that this team has not had in a long time. You can go back what? I'm not saying he's Wendell. But in terms of his skating and his shot, or Rick Vive, he's got skills. He's got a skill.
Can you never equate any player ever to number 17? Mike, it's not fair.
I said he's not Wendell.
Don't they honestly? OG's Converse. Do any of you know who Wendell Clark is? Any of you? Like, and what he means to the game of hockey? Like, please. Do not equate Matthew Knies to Wendell Clark, and you know better than that.
No, well, I'm just saying in terms of him being a power forward, I think he can be that. But let's not go down the road of comparing him to Gary Roberts or Wendell or Rick Vive. He's not that, but he can be something like a Chris Kreider in New York, and a big, powerful skating a forward with offensive skills. And at age 20, he's already been in Olympics, in a World Junior, and now in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And they've got this guy for 2 more years at less than $1 million a year.
Right. It's a nice thing to see, and I like how he's just jumped in. And that's the thing. He's at an advantage because he's had a run with Wisconsin. He's had a run in Minnesota. Sorry, he's had a run with in the NCAA. He's excited. He's pumped. Just jumps in and goes at it. The reason he's able to hang with it is because he is that much better than most of his contemporaries. It's pretty remarkable. However, when the summer hits and he gets reset into a training camp setting, into a prospect camp setting, whichever setting he's put into, things will change. The momentum won't be there. The leverage of being the kind of guy who's just popped into a situation won't be there. So let's take him for what he can give us now. And anybody who can help elevate this team and make it better and make themselves better through elevating the team, let's just do it. So we can clearly see that Matthew Knies is a cut above most prospects, and it's a great thing to see because it'll be good for his development. It'll be good for the team in the future. But right now, it's just a matter of getting past Tampa by any means necessary. And here we are again.
I love Brad Tyndall. He says, "I came here to escape from reality, but Mike brought it all crashing back." Damn.
Can you tell me where that
Brad, it was
is?
he just typed, yeah. I'm Brad. That's what I am. I'm a truth teller. I'm sorry. That's what I do. I'm hey, I hope for all the OGs, for all the Convo viewers, for everybody in Leafs Nation, for everybody who's going to go to Maple Leaf Square on Thursday, that this team wins. I hope so. It's like it's been 19 years since we've seen the Leafs have a victory in a playoff series, and fans
Beats. Look at this guy. These
give me the
Italians
money.
in
Give me the money.
construction. He makes so much damn money. You know, he's driving his Maserati and his F-150 Lariat with the deployable running boards. He's up in Woodbridge, just
I'd like
making
to know if this is actual. If this
throwing
is,
money at us. This is
I'd
what
like
I
to
love
know.
about the Italians. They got the
I'd like to
Toronto
know.
Italians. The Italian money in Toronto is ridiculous.
I'd like to know if this is actual money, because that would be nice.
Unionville. Look, you Stugazze, fucking the Paisan. This guy's a beauty. I love him. Look at this. This is beats. The guy's an OG. He's
Vito,
throwing 70 feet at these guys. What the hell?
he's not Vito in Woodbridge, is he?
Hey, you're an Italian too, Mike. Show some fucking love for your Italian Canadians.
Well, no, I'm Italian and Sicilian, so there you go.
Whoa, wait a minute. There you got the okay there, fucking Robbie De Niro. Holy shit, look out. Listen, like Anush Patel throwing dollars too. Like, what are we, buskers? This is crazy. A couple of old bastards at Young and Dundas, like playing spoons.
It sure as hell is in Hooters. But
these guys are beauties, eh?
But I'll just say this. It's like I said, I sincerely hope that Game 5, this team recognizes that you have to play with a level of desperation. And, the last thing you want is to go back to Tampa for Game 6. So they have to play. They have to play like they're down 3-1. Right. They're up 3-1. That's what they have to do.
I mean, Mike, we've wanted these kinds of things from the Leafs all season long. And it's interesting. When we've wanted something, we haven't gotten it. When we weren't expecting it, it's been shoved in our face. It's just, it's part of the deal. 5-4 Maple Leafs in overtime. Pretty remarkable. Up 3-1 after taking not 1, but 2 in Tampa with overtime goals that weren't probable, but possible. And they win it. 37 shots on goals for the Maple Leafs, 31 shots for the Light. Even Steven on the draws, 50% apiece. The Leafs with 2 more power play goals. I know the night previous, nothing on the power play, but neither team got anything. Now, Mike, what would you say about the subdued nature of this game? Why didn't Tampa come out and try to bully the Maple Leafs? Did they think that maybe just kind of going at them and just kind of playing a solid hockey game because they realized they needed to get a win here? Or did they feel like because they got up early that they didn't have to, kind of bring the physical element as part of what they were trying to accomplish to win the game?
Remember, they got up 2-0, basically taking advantage of Leafs miscues, and they basically felt that they didn't have to go down that road. I mean, and there were instances where Victor Hedman came into a scrum and jabbed at McCabe, and you saw,
but that's nothing, Mike. That's
but
just shit when the whistle blows.
What happened was the referees called him, picked out one guy, called them and pulled them out, and that cools down that stuff. I mean, this was a game that was important to Tampa in terms of, they needed to even the series and put the pressure back on Toronto. And they thought they accomplished that goal by, they were playing, taking advantage. I mean, the Leafs power play up until 10 minutes left, because there are 2 games here. It's 10 minutes left to go in the third period, after and before. And before the 10 minutes in the third period, their special teams were costing them the game. They gave up a power play goal to Tampa. Their 2 power plays in the first and second period were abysmal. They didn't, Tampa obviously had sort of sniffed out the Leafs' entry into the offensive zone, because every time it got stalled at the blue line. And then with 10 minutes left to go in the third period, Tampa was on their heels. They thought all we have to do is play smart defensively, dump it out, kill time, and the Leafs, they're probably going to quit and say, okay, we got the split in Tampa. Now we go back to Toronto for Game 5. I thought that. I think everybody thought that. And then Toronto gets the goal and starts to believe, hey, maybe we can come back. And then they get 3 goals in 6 minutes. So they took advantage of the stupidity of Tampa Bay, and they were able to muster their will to score 3 goals and then score in overtime. And it should be a death blow to Tampa, but this is Tampa. And until they're dead, I won't believe they're dead.
Mike, Austin Matthews is second. Austin Matthews is third on the power play. Morgan Rielly ties it. Alex Kerfoot wins it in overtime. So it's not like it didn't look like Austin Matthews took over this game, but subtly he did.
Yeah, I mean, and you can't criticize Austin Matthews right now. Now he's got 3 goals in the series, 2 by deflection, 1 by shot. He and 09 Max, I tweeted out and I got more than 100 likes on Twitter. I said, regardless of the result of this series, the focus of Kyle Dubas has got to be 3 or 4 players in terms of re-signing them. Number 1 is Ryan O'Reilly. Right. Whatever you have to do to get him re-signed. I don't care if you have to trade other players. But, Ryan O'Reilly, Achari, Luke Shen, and the one that will be unpopular with somebody in the chat is Michael Bunting. I'm sorry. I think Bunting is an
and he's back for Game 5.
Well, I don't know if he'll be in the lineup because
really?
we'll
crazy.
Well, no, because Keefe won't want to mess with a winning lineup. But I think
Isn't that amazing? He played the entire season, and everybody loved what he brought. And then he extends himself because no one else is doing anything. Throws a fucking shoulder, gets suspended 3 games, and now everybody wants him wiped out of town.
Oh, no.
Crazy, Mike, how people change their train of thought. What if Austin Matthews threw that shoulder? You think people would want him wiped off?
I think he would have been suspended for a game and not 3 games.
But that's what I'm saying. It's different standards, right? Michael been heroic for this team, and then he just again in a moment where no one else is doing anything. This is the problem: when no one's doing anything, someone tries to do too much. Okay, I wanted to throw this out there, Mr. Master Shake. This has been a blast, everybody. Let's play a full game on Thursday and wrap this one up. And yes, I'll be wearing my Leafs jersey to the office the rest of the week. And I'm in Phoenix. Go Leafs, go. This is what I love. Mike, we have so many diehards and we have just average people who wear jerseys to the fucking office. And they want to showcase a little bit. They're thousands of miles away from where the action is happening. Since they just want to be fans and they join this kind of podcast and this platform. Mr. Master Shake, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. We feel it. And go Leafs, go 100%.
Since he's in Phoenix, he's got to either have a Matthews jersey or a Nyes jersey since they're from Arizona. But
that's right, the hockey hotbed.
Well, hey, you can't criticize it for providing the Leafs with their best player and a kid who's gonna
check out a midget game in the GTA, Mike. It's a different story, man. Like seriously, it's like baseball in the Bronx. Go check out. Have you ever seen what's going on in the GTA? How hockey's developed, where all the cats come. It's nice. It's a great story that these guys are coming from Phoenix, and no disrespect to the desert, but it's like 1 out of 100, man. Whereas
I'm not criticizing. I'm not criticizing. Hold on. I'm not criticizing, the minor leagues in Toronto, like the GTHL that end up producing.
They pay their coaches $100,000 a year to coach the team.
I know. But let me finish. I'm not criticizing like the GTHL and other leagues and that funnel players into the Ontario Hockey League or Quebec or the Western Hockey League. All I'm saying is the Leafs have to be thankful that a kid went to an Arizona Coyotes game years ago and decided he loved hockey.
Good.
And wanted to be an NHL player, and they ended up winning the lottery and drafting first overall in 2016. And this kid, who is best friends with the son of Shane Doan, and who was drafted, I think, by the Coyotes as well. And he's been to an Olympics and a World Junior, and now is in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And he was drafted in the 2nd round by Kyle Dubas. So the critics of Kyle Dubas, you have to take the bad with the good, and he's done a lot of good here.
Right. We're kind of going all over the place here. And that's what we do, right? Like, why not? Again, what I've said to the OGs and converts is in a week or 2 weeks, the Leafs could be out, and we don't have this opportunity to expand on how we feel and spend more time together. We've gone through the weekly podcasts for the last 40 weeks, and now we're here. So let's talk. The thing with Kyle Dubas is this. Is that, he's got his idea, he's got his philosophy, but he's deviated from it year after year to augment the group. And he realizes now, and I think he always knew this, but he was trying something. You can't just compute and like pencil guys in to win, especially in hockey. In baseball, you might be able to do that, right? He throws hard, he throws strikes, but he can only throw for 2 or 3 innings. So make him a middle reliever. Okay? He's an on-base guy. He doesn't hit for power, but he doesn't strike out. But he's not a guy who can play in your lineup every day. Bring him in as kind of a platoon player or somebody who can come in late in the innings or just kind of off-spell somebody. Or you know what? He strikes out a lot, but he gets lots of hits and gets a lot of extra base. Sorry, I'm a baseball guy as well. In hockey, he's realizing that you can't just fucking fill your lineup with William Nylanders. It's impossible. You need to have more. You need to have experience. You need to have the tough people. And he's made the adjustments. So I'm proud of him for that. So in my mind, Kyle Dubas is the general manager of this team going forward. However, we all know that if this team loses again, someone has to fall. Someone has to take the blame, and Kyle Dubas will most likely be that, whether it's fair or not. I'm sorry, you can't lose this many times and keep your job. This is not how professional sports works. There's no. It's not like working for the province of Ontario or for the the state of New York. You don't just get to keep your job because you've just been there. You're fired if your team cannot succeed, whether it's right or not. It's time that his job is relinquished or exterminated.
Well,
The Leafs, in many ways, are if their success prolongs this guy's profession with the Maple Leafs, and I hope that's the case because he deserves to stay on. But whether he deserves to stay on or not, it doesn't matter. The Leafs lose. He's out.
I'll say this because the criticism of Dubas going back a few years was legitimate in terms of, I think, his hesitancy to make significant changes to the core group. I mean, but what he has done over the last 2 years in terms of adding, veteran leadership as a support structure, Giordano, Yarncroke,
right,
Aston Reese.
That's what I'm talking about.
And now at the deadline, Achari and O'Reilly and Lafferty and McCabe and Shen. I mean, he just
go back years though. He's made goaltending acquisitions. He's tried to bring in guys like Nick Foligno. He's tried. He realizes that you can't just fill out your lineup with Dennis Mulgans and win. You can't just fill up your lineup with guys like William Nylander and win. You need to have toughness. You need to have a mosaic of guys who bring different things, different qualities to the process. Look at every champion ever. It's not just a bunch of guys who are plugged in because that's the way the program tells you it's going to work. It's real people who are going to grind it out for 4 series. They say that the Stanley Cup is the toughest trophy to win in sports. In many ways, that is a correct assessment, and you cannot win the toughest trophy in sports without tough people. Know it.
Yeah,
everybody knows it.
I'm getting some heat on Twitter for saying after the first period, after the first period, I said Alex Kerfoot was -2 in Game 3 and was guilty of the giveaway that led to Sergachev's goal. If you're asking me who Keefe sits for bunting in Game 5, he is a leading candidate. At the time, that was true. Okay, he got the game-winning goal. I'm very happy for Alex Kerfoot. But at the time, this was two different games. It was the game from minute 0 to minute 50, and then the game from minute 50 to the end of the game. They were two different games because the Leafs did not come to play until 10 minutes left to go in the third period, and then they showed up.
If Alex Kerfoot didn't exist on this roster and you put someone else in, would you notice? I mean, he scored tonight. And again, like I said, Justin Hall can be a complete whipping boy for 6 games and in game 7 score the winner. And all of a sudden he is in the pantheon of the greats like Nikolai Borshevsky and
Corey
Matt
Cross.
and Corey Cross and George Armstrong. You know that.
Lanny
Right?
McDonald.
Lanny McDonald, but we would know that the guy really, for the most part, isn't worth his weight in nothing. But what I'm saying is a guy like Alex Kerfoot, next year he could be gone and no one would give 2 shits. But for now, this group is a crew, and we need to get everything we possibly can out of every player, right? So he scored. He scored the goal. Let's go, baby. We're up 3-1. How does this team finish this bloody thing off in game 5? Mike, last word to you.
How they do it, like I said, I think they have to play with a level of desperation as if they were down 3-1. They, Tampa, unless there's just unless there's half the roster is hurt or they just don't have anything left, Tampa will come out with their hair on fire. And the Leafs have to be prepared for that. And they have to maybe weather the first 5, 6, 7 minutes of the first period. And if they do that and then they take it to Tampa, they should win the game. But again, play up to the level of your opponent because they're going to come and they're going to come for you. And if the Leafs can do that, then they can win this series in 5 games.
All right. Well, Shedler, Norm said the Leafs in 5. I called the Leafs in 5 because you were calling Tampa in 7. So we had to have one contrast with the other. Okay. We have Jim Giordatis. Who would you rather have in the lineup? And I've lost it because we have so many people. Justin Hall or Jeff Finger?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Jeff Finger. I'll guess you would guess which finger I'm at. Never mind.
Danny Grinnick, off to get drunk. Thanks for the show tonight, boys. $2.
Right.
Where does all this money go? Because I don't see.
I don't know, but
all this money up.
I'd like to have it. Thank you.
I'm sure you would. 09 Max, Carl Brewer. I love the references for all the extra the past Leafs. And you know what, guys?
If
the Leafs get through and the Leafs do something special, please keep referencing all the former Leafs. I want you to, because for me, I want every one of these damn Leafs to get a ring or some kind of accolades for all of the success, like to be at least to be acknowledged for the success that the Leafs are getting right now.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm melancholy that way. I'm sentimental that way, but I've been around that way. Like I've been loving the Maple Leafs since the mid 90s.
Tom Kerfer, so good.
Tommy Curvis, Josh Lamers. Play their game, they win, go Leafs, go. I mean, we've been going on about that very generic kind of support for the Maple Leafs, but it certainly rings true. Wilford Witzke, whether the first 2 rounds, LOL, Brad Tyndall, Danny Grinnick, OG Bucks, because, Danny's the biggest fan of the podcast, and we appreciate his support because we need guys on the ground like that. We really do. Bao Lee, just giving us kisses. We appreciate it. Super Strike. Leafs have a great opportunity here. They have to take advantage of it. Mike, we've been like, you go back last year, they have to take advantage of it. They're up 3-2. The year before that, up 3-1 on Montreal. They have to take advantage of it. They got to do the job. The year before that against Boston, up 3-2. Got to do it. Year before that against Boston, got to do it. They can do it. How the hell do they get this thing done, Mike? Donald J. Trump, 69. Mike, are you mayor of Cheektowaga yet? Are you? Is it Cheektowaga or Cheektowaga? Cheektowaga. Of course it's Cheektowaga. It's like Creek.
And anything from Donald J. I ignore.
Yeah.
So, all right.
That it for you?
That's it for me.
You're ready to crash, aren't you?
I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
You're ready to crash. When you're in your mid 60s, I mean, you want to sleep after whatever.
Exactly. I have to go have some warm milk and cookies.
Okay. Game. What do we have? 1, 2, 3. Game 5 is when is that? Wednesday? Thursday. Okay, so we get some time off. Are you pumped for that? Are you going to that game?
I'm covering that game, yes, for Hockey Buzz. So
Awesome. So unless we can catch up with you live from Scotiabank Arena, you're not going to be a part of the post game. But if things go crazy and things are wild and we're going at it and the Leafs have clinched, I'm going to call you and see if you can hook up with us live from Toronto. Is that cool?
Probably not, because I'll be doing I'll be doing post game interviews and stuff like that. So I just won't.
Right.
I won't be.
But you never know. We might be going late.
Well, I'll message you and we'll go from there.
We'll go from there. OG's Converse, thanks so much. Like the content, subscribe to the channel, let your friends know about it. We'll have this edition of the post game Leafs winning 5-4 in overtime. This edition going to the local podcast channel of your choice, which I know you listen to over the next 24 hours. So catch up with that, but I really, really, really implore you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're just having a blast right now. Like, everything's kind of off the table. There's no formality to it. We're just having fun. The Leafs up 3-1 in this first round Stanley Cup series against the rival Tampa Bay Lightning. Can they put this damn thing away? Lots of content between now and Game 5 on Thursday. In the meantime, you can catch Mike at hockeybuzz.com, at Mike and Buffalo on Twitter, or you know how to find me, the Leafs Convo, gmail.com, or you can get at me in the community portion of the YouTube channel, youtube.com/the Leafs Convo/community. We're here. We're having a blast. You know how to get a hold of us. Let's all interact and let's just enjoy this process. Let's enjoy this run. And God forbid the Leafs get through this first round series with Tampa. All bets are off. I don't care who they're playing in round 2. We're going to have a lot of fun with this because we deserve it. For Mike, I'm Norm. Enjoy your nights, guys. The Leafs up 3-1. Game 5 on Thursday. We'll see you there, or be square. For Mike, I'm Norm. We're out.